Rudy's got his countdown clock ready to go.
Yeah, and I'm going to use a public street and a subway system tonight to get home after my shot clock. That makes me a total
Which also are subsidized
That's
by
my
the
point.
government, yes. Folks, in my Diamond District today, James MacDougald from the Free Enterprise Nation.
Oh, he's great.
He's ranting about all this government spending as well. He's going to talk to me about his fight. Hold on, you guys, I'm reading the prompter. His fight to stop government overtaxing private businesses to fund bloated salaries for government workers. Happy Hour coming right back. All right, folks, welcome to the Diamond District, everyone. You can chat with me on Twitter or Facebook, by the way. Go Diamond, one word. Well, my next guest says enough is enough. James MacDougald is co-founder of Free Enterprise Nation. This is a group that claims that government spending can be curbed by keeping an eye on public sector wages. That's people like teachers, police officers, firefighters. He joins me now in the Diamond District. James, thanks so much for joining me here on Happy Hour. I'm looking at some of your talking points, and you're targeting, it's a fine line you're walking here, because you're targeting police officers and teachers, you know, all these public government workers, and you're saying, boy, they make a lot of money, maybe too much money in salary, benefits, and in pension. And all of us taxpayers are basically subsidizing their sky-high benefits. Explain.
Hi, Rebecca. Actually, we certainly don't want to attack any firefighters, police, teachers, and so forth. That isn't the point of what we're talking about. What we're really saying is that virtually everybody in government and everybody in public education is retiring at age 50 or 55 at pay levels that are way above Social Security, and that cost is being borne by people in the private sector that can't afford to do that themselves. And we think that those public policies that drain the private sector in order to provide benefits and early retirement for people in the public sector are unfair, and they have to be changed.
Okay, so what would you change? I mean, because I always thought, you know, the teachers are always saying they're not paid enough, that public education, they claim, would be a lot better if we would just pay these teachers a lot more money. Police officers, I know for a fact they don't get paid very well, but you're saying you want to cut their salaries?
Absolutely not. But let me give you an example of what most people are surprised about. In Illinois, for example, we used the Freedom of Information Act to go to one school district and say what was the average salary of a teacher that retired and what was the average pension. The average salary was $135,000 a year. The average pension at age 58 was $100,000 a year, and they got an average 3% raise. So our perception of how downtrodden some of these public sectors workers are isn't necessarily true. We do want to pay them fairly, but the big cost is them retiring 10 or 15 years earlier than we can, and we have to pay for it. We can't even afford to retire at 65 ourselves. It's just a disproportionate use of taxpayer dollars.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's shocking that some teachers are getting paid that much money. I know teachers get really good health benefits with all this health reform going on. You see all public servants, like our members of Congress, boy, they have those Tiffany health insurance plans that the rest of us in private sector would only long to have but couldn't afford to have. So how do you go about making these changes? You're saying maybe they need to work longer, maybe they shouldn't get as generous retirement plans?
Yes, what we're saying is there's 20 million people in the public sector. There's 105 million people in the private sector. We created a website, thefreeenterprisenation.org, where people can go on, click on it, and look and see where their tax dollars are going. And then if they decide they want to do something about it, they can actually join us for either $5 or $25, and then they can say, we're going to join a part of a much larger organization to try to affect public policy. The only public policy we want to change is the way that the government uses our money for early retirement.
All right, James MacDougald.